Married and alone, step one. That's our topic today. It's a very important topic because if you're married to someone who's intimacy anorexia, who's withholding emotionally, spiritually, and sexually from you, you feel pain, you feel alone, you feel disconnected, and it's real. Your trauma, statistically, we did a whole study, partner betrayal trauma. You can go to that website, partnerbetrayaltrauma.com, and get all the information on that. But your trauma is real. And the pain that you feel, the aloneness, not being touched, connected to is real. But how do you begin to heal? How do you start your journey? Well, step one has helped thousands and millions with various types of addiction processes or being spouses of those in addiction. So as we walk through this, pay attention. It can really help you. Now, if you're not part of our channel, please hit the subscribe button because we send out stuff every week. And there's hundreds of things already out there that can help you on your journey of healing. Now, if you're married and alone, you didn't do it, but you've been in this car wreck. You've been traumatized. You've been hurt. And you're going to have to heal. So pay attention and stay tuned as we talk about step one. Step one for married and alone. Now, first of all, for those that are watching, I understand intimacy anorexia better than any person on the planet. I actually created that paradigm. I understand people all over the world identify with intimacy anorexia and being married and alone. I can't tell you how many thousands and thousands of emails we've gotten. I feel like a roommate, I feel alone. And if that's you and you're watching this, I want to validate your pain's real. Statistically, your trauma's real. And I want to help you on step one and walk through some key principle ideas so that you can start your journey of healing. Now, I know you weren't driving the car and he or she is the one who has damaged the marriage. But if you've been shot, you've been hurt, you're going to have to take responsibility to kind of take that bullet out and make the process and do your physical therapy to get better. So step one helps with that process. And I do find the men and women who do the steps as a spouse heal a lot quicker than those that don't. And there's the Married and Alone Step Workbook. I strongly, strongly encourage you get that and walk through that. There's the Married and Alone Workbook. I strongly encourage you get that. It's got about 100 ideas there to help you heal. I strongly recommend you get in a group. Now let's walk through these key ideas. We. The first word in 12 steps is we. Because you are not the only man or woman who is living with an intimacy anorexic. There are millions of marriages that are suffering like yours. There are friends that you have who are just as alone and disconnected from their spouse as you are. You might be a hardworking individual. You might be a good soul. You might be religious. You might be very ethical and kind and loving, and yet you're unloved. You're untouched. You feel unwanted, ugly maybe. You feel disrespected, unheard, unseen. You've cried yourself to sleep. So have millions of others. They feel as lonely as you do. They feel as unwanted. They feel as betrayed as you do. They feel the same bait and switch, like you weren't this way until the wedding night or shortly thereafter. What happened? All that pain that you have, there are tons of other men and women who feel that pain. Because intimacy anorexia is not a gender-specific issue. So I realize I'm talking to both genders today. Admitted. This is a hard one for married and alones because most of my experiences, intimacy anorexics marry really good souls. And a really good soul keeps trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Or they marry a soul that grew up in a family where mom and dad never validated them, never really showed them love. So they're still on a treadmill to be loved. And the intimacy anorexic holds the carrot out there that maybe one day I'll love you if you do this, if you do this, if you do this. And it keeps going on for decades. But admitting that you're in this situation, it is intimacy anorexia. And that's not about you. It's like acknowledging that you're married to an alcoholic. Like, yes, Charlie really is an alcoholic. Samantha really is an alcoholic. They can't do life without alcohol. Okay, admitting that your husband or your wife really does life by withholding. And that withholding keeps you in pain constantly. And it seems like they're insensitive to your pain. And when you voice your pain, they even withhold more. And it becomes crazy making and insane. And admitting that you're in a situation that you didn't necessarily create, and most likely did not create at all. This was before you. But admitting that you're actually in that situation, that you are married to an intimacy anorexic who chooses, and I'm using that word very responsibly, chooses to withhold love from you daily, is painful. Powerless. You are powerless for them to ever love you. You are powerless even if they get into recovery and they do the intimacy anorexia workbooks and steps and they're in a group, they may not change. And you're powerless over them changing. There are so many men and women who want their spouse to heal so badly because they don't want a divorce. They don't want to destroy their family. They don't want to have separate holidays. They don't want to have stepmoms and dads in different locations and living in different states or countries. They don't want that for their life. But no matter how much you love that person, you're powerless. Your love can't make them love you. Look back on your history. It doesn't work. Your pain, it may change things for a few days, maybe a couple weeks. You know the cycle. You're in pain, you scream, I'm out of here, I can't take this anymore. Oh, I love you, honey. And all of a sudden, they know all of your love language, so they know what to do. They might have sex with you. You have a great encounter, and you think, oh, good, this is gonna work. And then slowly, gradually, they pull away until the next time you're in pain. I have a great DVD called Pain for Love. If that's what you're experiencing, definitely watch that. But you're powerless over that cycle. You're powerless over them choosing to love you. You're powerless that you are actually in a marriage with someone who may choose not to love you at all. And that's the hardest part of my job ever, is when a woman or a man has to accept that they're unloved. Now, you're powerless over them, but you're not powerless over your own recovery. And once you let go of trying to change them and you acknowledge your own powerlessness, that you can't change them, it gives you a lot of energy to work on you. You can do your married alone workbook, you can do your steps, you can make your calls, you can be in group, and you're not trying to fix them. You're just trying to heal from the damages of that. And it puts you on a totally different trajectory than if you're trying to fix them. You're powerless over them. They may never change. Now, I hope they do. And we've got lots of materials, and I've seen, well over 1,000 couples get better and heal, and they're better than ever. Their relationships are amazing when they do the work. But you may not have a hero, okay? So you have to be your own hero. You're powerless over them being a hero and changing. And you are powerful in the way that you decide to do your own recovery. But admitting that you can't change them, that you're powerless over your intimacy anorexic, it's a great day, and that is step one. And our lives have become unmanageable. Look at who you were when you married. Vivacious, fun, enjoyed coming home, enjoyed life, enjoyed a lot more things. You even liked who you were. But over time, you've changed. Your life's become unmanageable. You're operating dehydrated, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, romantically, validation-wise. There's so many levels in which you are dehydrated and dry and emptying, and yet you keep giving and giving and giving in hopes that it'll be returned. Because in most relationships that are healthy, if you give something, there's some reciprocity. With intimacy anorexic, it feels like a black hole. Unless you're in significant pain, then they show up a little bit, and then they disappear again, okay? So your life has become unmanageable. Now, that's not because of you, but it's kind of like if you were in a situation where maybe you didn't get proper nutrition for years, or you lack certain vitamins, or you have some kind of disease and you find out. Okay, now it's your responsibility to start healing. And in step one, what you do is you admit that you're powerless over them. You're powerless over that situation. And you begin to reclaim the areas of your life that have been devastated. Okay, and you might need to do one at a time, figure that out. Some of it's economic, some of it's spiritual, some of it's financial. and you need to take responsibility. Now, when I know a man or woman is truly powerless as a married and alone, they've reached out for help. They've gotten a group, they have an accountability person or a sponsor, they might have a therapist. And if you need some help, we call our counseling center. We are the specialists in the world of intimacy anorexia. Literally, people fly from all over the world to get healing from intimacy anorexia, or as a spouse to check off the box that they did the best they could do. And if this dog doesn't hunt, it just doesn't hunt. There is nothing that you can do to make that person love you, or want to be married, or wanting to do the work of being married. And oftentimes they got away with it for decades. And so they feel kind of confused as to why you're changing the rules. But you're powerless over them. But I want to encourage you, if you're married and alone, you didn't do it, but you've got to take responsibility to heal. Step one's part of it. I encourage you, get in a group, get a counselor, get moving in your own healing. We also have a neuromodulation thing in our office. If you come for 5 days, it can help with some of the trauma symptoms that you might be having. You deserve to heal. Step one is the beginning. Now again, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do. Okay? There's a little subscribe button, hit that. We have hundreds of videos to help. And there's also a box there for questions. If you have questions, I want to hear it so that I can help you as quickly as possible. So please do that and continue, because we're going to do step 2 through 12. Watch the rest of them, take your journey, and you're worth totally healing.